All right. We're bringing another man. The greatest promoter in the world.
Promoter?
Wow, the world?
In the world.
Well,
we're here with David
I had
Marquez.
no prodding, now did it?
No, it sounded totally natural. It just rolled right off the tongue.
Pretty much. What's happening, guys?
Oh, not too much. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. This has been a fantastic weekend.
Yeah. No, we talked to Adam Pierce a little while ago. What did you think about the matches last night?
I think they're really good. I've been coming up here into the Charlotte area for about 3 years now, and working with several NWA incarnations in this area over the last few years, and I was really happy to see the last few months of our involvement, at least since the beginning of the year, really culminate with this Future Legends Cup, and Phil Shatter winning it, also our national champion, and now he's going to go up for the World's Championship again. He's a top contender for the title, and it's going to be fun. Him and Adam Pierce again tonight. Brian Danielson and Adam, 3 years in the making. A lot of people forget about that. But three years that Brian was in the finals for the world title tournament in Bayamon, Puerto Rico, and Adam had to go and replace him. So it was, I thought it was great. The people seemed to have a great time. And
no, we've been here 5 years, and it's always a lot of fun, the matches. But I think last night it was the best card that we've ever seen live at the FanFest.
I would say I would agree with you. Between the match with the main event last night, you can put it up there with the Midnights and the Rock and Rolls from a few years ago.
Oh yeah, that.
And then Mike Jackson. What about Mike Jackson?
Yeah, we forgot to even bring up Mike Jackson. Can't believe that.
Mike Jackson should still be on national television somewhere. Yeah. I really believe that.
We said that before. Now, if you'd put him on TV, like put him on SmackDown or whatever, and not make a big deal about it, just say he's Mike Jackson, you have him wrestling somebody, don't have him just get killed, but he's kind of impressive, and you just see him, he's just totally inconspicuous, and then he'd pull up the old school or something, the crowd would go insane. You have a superstar.
I agree.
One night.
Totally agree.
And I really like how, have you seen the last 2 years, they kind of built it up, because the last 2 years he's always hit the old school. This year he went to do it, and the guy cut him off.
Zach Salvation, that's right.
Yeah. So it was like a really good psychology, because if you were here the last 3 years, you knew he was going to hit all this, and then they cut him off. It was perfect.
I agree with you guys.
Yeah. Do you have any highlight you want to talk about?
Oh, there's all kinds of things. I've always been the kid around these guys, and now I'm in my later 30s, pushing early 40s, and I'm still the kid, which is great, because I'm very happy that they can still call me kid. Right. Everyone from seeing Danny Hodge and Harley Race, who I was in business with early on in my career in the mid to late 90s in Missouri, and to see Harley and actually get an embrace and a warm welcome is always fun. But it's always great to see people. Percy Pringle, of course, is a good friend of mine, and Sid Vicious. I've known Sid for probably 15 years or so, and this is a really good reunion to a degree, and it's different than the Cauliflower Alley clubs, because there's a lot more a fan interaction, and it's still difficult for me to be taken as some sort of a higher profile person. I'm just a guy in the back who every now and again might be on camera. Right. But the whole thing is fun.
Yeah, I don't want to embarrass you, but I've seen you, taking pictures and watching the matches, and you're a fan yourself.
I am a fan, and more than anything, I think I'm a fan of, from a different point of view. I'm not necessarily a modern day wrestling fan, but I am a fan of being a part of what we're doing and seeing it go from beginning to end, from paper to execution, and then the final tape or whatever the media is that it's on. That's what I'm a fan of, that you're actually creating and producing and seeing it all come together. There's a lot of people who do know me knew I wanted to be an animator.
Really?
That's what I really wanted to do in life. I take internship programs at Disney and stuff. And when I was probably about 17 years old, I realized that that's not what I wanted to do, because to create 30 seconds of animation, and it takes a month. Right. That's why I got into television. Yeah. So, and the only reason why I got into television only reason why I got into wrestling was because I knew wrestling took me into television.
Right.
So, so that was my beeline getting into the broadcasting business is that way. But yes, I do enjoy it. I do enjoy seeing the people who are there with me, and seeing Adam Pearce and people that we've all grown up together, so our own little generation. Adam keeps kidding that we're going to be staring at each other for the next 30 years at things like this together, and I don't mind it.
Yeah. No, Terry Funk at the Hall of Heroes, he was saying how wrestling went from pure wrestling to what is today on what you see on TV is pure entertainment, and some people say, well, you can't go back, but don't you think if you put on a show like you saw last night on a big scale on national television, it would get over? I
think it would, and I could be a little biased. I produce television, and in our area starting next month, in September 17th, in fact, we'll be starting on KDOC 56 in Los Angeles, Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. I've been producing television off and on as a test pilot for this specific. That was just a dress rehearsal for what we're getting ready to do, and what we do is exactly what you saw last night. Yeah. So, my goal is if it could work in Los Angeles, Friday nights at 8:00. Right. I mean, we're going against SmackDown on cable. Yeah. But I think in the LA market, there's enough people. We service 18 million homes over the air and cable and satellite. Yeah. So I think someone's going to join us. Someone's going to tune in and see us from the Galaxy Theater. We're taping that August 24th. Yeah. And the website's NWAHollywood.com for anyone who wants to follow what we're doing if you don't live in the Los Angeles area. Right. So, but yes, I do agree with you that if the WWE wanted to, and this is how I see it, the WWE, in all intents and purposes, is a classic Hollywood studio. Vince McMahon is Louis Mayer, right? Right. And his assets walk home at the end of the day, just like Mayer's did. Right. So he has an opportunity, and they have an opportunity there to not just produce motion pictures and internet media and whatnot. They can, if they wanted to, they could set up these regional televisions, and do it the NWA style of producing TV, and who knows, it might even get to that. I mean, they did with OVW, and they're doing it virtually with Florida, but it still isn't what you're talking about. Yeah. But I do think that a mix of the old and the new, like you saw here last night, and most any other non-WWE or TNA events, or televised events, I should say, because if you go to a live event, it has way more of a classic feel to it. Yeah. Even TNA itself, when I've gone to a house show, it's actually way better than the TV show because it was just matches. It wasn't. I mean, the roster's so good. The guys just having matches was so entertaining. It's kind of sad the way that what they add to the show actually takes away from the performers. Yeah, that's always a tough part. When you're producing network television, and you're getting and you have to meet expectations from several areas. I mean, you may have sponsors to make happy. You have a network to make happy. Right. You have a boss to make happy. Right. And then as it trickles down, it gets so watered out and there's so many hands involved that the perception of what you want isn't necessarily the goal of the company or whatever they're trying to achieve, So, and that's always a tough part in business. Yeah. And I have a long association with Disney at Parks and Resorts and doing press and publicity there for so many years that when we would do an event or we would premiere a new attraction or whatever, and pure Disney fans would always be so upset because, if Walt saw this, he'd roll over in his grave. Or, and it's kind of the same thing now when you talk about wrestling, that there's that emotional attachment and investment that people have made for at least 30 or 35 years of modern WWE-type wrestling that... when you pull the rug from under them, they get kind of upset. But you know as well as I do, you don't change the channel. You still tune in and see what they're doing. Exactly. Oh, yeah, I watch every week, and I'll always watch it. Absolutely. Yeah. I know tonight it's Phil Shatter versus Scrap Iron and Pierce. That's right. It's a rematch. In that one? Yeah, it's also, this is their third time together. And Ohio, they're at the Ohio State Fair last week. Yep. And then if Adam can get through this as champion, he has Charlie Haas in Texas next week. Oh, really? And then August 24th, in Gainesville, I believe, Texas, NWA Southwest. And then back in Hollywood on the 24th with us at the Galaxy Theater, him and Joey Ryan, I believe. Oh, so really and that's cool. A rematch, too, from Oceanside, California, where they really beat the hell out of each other. Yeah. Joey, I think, is tired of being Joey. And
So
he
he's
really,
just
and
Joe
I think he's looking for his spot in life and the business of just not being the mustache ride guy or the guy who wears comic book trunks or or at Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. He's really trying to get out there and be somebody else. I mean, he was an NWA World Tag Team Champion with Carl the Machine Gun Anderson for a long time. We took him around the world, and I think Joey's missing that bit, and he wants something back.
Yeah.
And Adam's going to be it.
Well, thank you for talking to us.
Well, thank you, guys. I appreciate you all coming out, and people always being so kind to us when it comes to the NWA and remembering us.
Cool.
Thanks.
Man.
Sure, no problem. I hope that's okay.
Oh, it was really good.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Now we're bringing
the Spec Son.
Spec Son. He is coming on.
We got Brandon here, Spec Son. Breaking Kayfabe.
Yep.
Secluded Paradigm creator and founder.
All right. You can watch that right off inyourheadonline.com, little website. Yeah. So I know you've enjoyed the weekend.
Oh, definitely. This has been by far one of the best wrestling festivities I've ever been a part of. I mean, last year's FanFest I thought was fantastic. This one was extremely great. It was great to see the turnout of a lot of the In-Your-Headers to come out. Playboy, of course, unfortunately, he had to leave a little earlier today.
Yeah.
Van, of course, who's handling the camera right now. I know some of you guys who are listening to the show right now can't see it, but he's done an awesome job today. Really helped out everybody. Of course, Chris, who you met, Chris Mayfield, who is phenomenal young talent in the business, who I think is going to be someone you need to really look at. In the
He's an intimidating guy.
Yes, he's trained by Dory Funk Jr. So what do you expect?
He probably shouldn't do this gimmick because it's 2010, but he looks kind of like a Viking.
Yeah,
a Viking.
He looks really impressive.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, he's a really impressive guy. It was great meeting him. A lot of
kind of jealous of the beard.
Oh yeah, definitely. Man, he's been rocking that like crazy. Man, it really stands out.
Yeah.
I'm glad he ditched the mask though. We can see it in his whole totality,
Yeah, that's why I didn't recognize him, because I just see him on the website and he's got a mask. So what would you say some of your highlights are?
Well, of course, all of you know I'm a huge Mickie James fan, and I was able to meet her. Just walking in to the ballroom and observing Mickie, that was a sight for itself. And you know what? If that was the only thing I was done FanFest, of course, meeting with you guys too.
Right.
I would have been happy. I mean, because that really made my day.
And me and Carol didn't have to restrain him.
No, they did. You did. I was a lone wolf over in the ballroom representing In Your Head there. But I will say this: she did hug me.
Really?
She didn't kiss me. Of course.
In your mind, she probably did.
In mind, she did, of course. But she did hug me. She smelled absolutely fantastic. Yeah. And I got a great photo out with her. I mean, it was a dream come true, really. So.
Yeah.
But that's just one of the moments. I mean, there's countless others. I also had an additional 11 photo ops, too, and meeting the Funks was really, really cool because I've always wanted to meet Terry and Dory in the same venue. And just to see those guys come in. Of course, Terry was a little late, but that was the case for many of the legends that came. But when he showed up, it was like the place just went crazy and everybody just... they went right to him and Dory as well. Those guys just have an aura about them. It's just really special. So I would say overall my two highlights in terms of the legends and the current wrestlers was one, meeting Mickie, two, meeting the Funks, and seeing Bryan Danielson work, which was fantastic last night against Scrap Iron Adam Pierce.
I think they were trying to get us an interview with him, but he wasn't up for it. He's over there. You have a question for Spec Son?
A question for Spec Son? I don't know. What was it like to eat dinner with us?
Oh, it was fantastic. Dude, you were the highlight of the night.
Really? Did my mouth click or anything like that when I ate, or did I disgust you?
No, none of that. You've just been hilarious all weekend, dude.
I try. But...
cracking jokes left and right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I will say this, though. Chris mentioned this to me a little while ago before I came up to the booth. Dwayne, if you're out there, and I know you probably are, it was great speaking with you, but you're not off the hook yet. You should have been here. And you will get a tongue lashing from me in the chat coming up this coming Wednesday or whenever we have another live show.
I see Dwayne's in the chat room, so I know he's out there listening.
So I'd say it does make us happy. Every year it seems like more and more In Your Head fans come to the show.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty soon it's like going to be a whole mob.
We're making a whole bunch tonight right now.